David Taub here, co-creator of NextLevelGuitar.com. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. Today I have a little lesson on how to make noodling more productive. You know, we all spend a lot of time just kind of sitting there with the guitar and, you know, just noodling around, messing around, trying to come up with licks, and it's fun, right? It's enjoyable just to sit there and not have to think too much and just kind of play, right? Well, wouldn't it be great if we can kind of turn that noodling into a more productive tool? Not to where we have to consciously like study, right? Because we're kind of taking a break from that when we're noodling. But wouldn't it be cool if we can use that as a way to bring results to our playing? So that's what this lesson is all about, taking that time, making it more useful. Before we get rocking, if you could do me a huge favor, please subscribe to the channel. You know, subscribing to the channel, that really helps us to keep bringing the content, right? And then you'll be notified when we have new lessons up. Leave a comment below. Let me know what lessons you'd like to see coming up. And if you like the lesson, please click the like button, give it a thumbs up, share it, and thank you so much for your support. To use your noodling more as a tool. The first thing is always know the key you're in. Even if, like I said, even if you're just noodling around, just kind of not really even thinking much, but always knowing that key is really important. It just kind of gets you in that mindset of knowing where you are on the fretboard and how it's relating to chords and scales and whatnot. And I highly suggest to all my students to always know the key you're playing in. So let's say you're just noodling around on the guitar. And by the way, I have the gain turned down, so I just have a little crunchy tone set up with a little bit of delay, right? Just running a plug-in in Logic, TH3. It's by Overloud. It's a pretty cool guitar plug. Okay, so another thing that you could do when you're noodling is just take a scale, okay, and noodle around in a given scale. Just know the scale you're in. Let's give you an example. We're in the key of E minor, okay? And so when you're noodling, noodle within a scale. So let's say you know an E natural minor scale. For example, let's use this one off of the E note root. This is movable, but played off of the root note 7th fret, that E note on the A string. Alright, so let's say you're just in that scale. Just going up and down the scale is good to get the scale under your fingers, to get to know it. But once you know it, you know, that's not musical, and you would never play licks like that, right? Right? Because it's not really musical. It's not really making music. You're just playing notes. So we need to make it musical. So when you're noodling around, we know we're in E minor, know the key you're in, know the scale. We're in this E natural minor scale. And we're just going to kind of... See, I'm just taking the notes, maybe doing some bends, doing some slides, and I'm noodling around. I'm not really thinking about it too much, but I'm listening for something that I really like. Like I like that half-step bend to the root note, right? And that's the other thing I was going to tell you is always know the scale, but know where the root notes are in the scale, because that's where you're going to be resolving a lot of your licks to. So you have an E here, another one here, another one up here on the high E, whole step away. Okay, so already, even though I'm not really thinking too much, I know a scale, I know where the root notes are, and I'm starting to put some licks together, noodling, and that's putting me in a mindset, okay, I need to make it musical. That's what it's all about, making it musical, making music, creating sounds, taking the notes and doing things with them, bending, slides, vibrato, hammer-ons, pull-offs. right? All right, so the noodling can be a very effective tool for coming up with some lick ideas. And when you come up with a lick you really like, you can pop it into your mental lick Rolodex or just write it down. Have some paper, you know, have some tabs, a blank tab, so you can just quickly make a note or record it on your phone. That's what I do a lot when I need to capture an idea. I just, you know, put the phone down, put it on video or audio, just catching the audio, because you know how fast these licks leave you once you play them, or a riff, right? So I'm constantly recording. Next thing, within this scale that you know, usually will live an arpeggio and a triad. So we're in E minor. We want to find out where the minor triad is, and it lives right within that scale right here. And that happens in lots of scales. Right within the scale, you'll find your triad. In this instance, you know, minor triad, root, flat, third, and fifth. We want to play the E minor triad, so like an E minor chord, right, is an E, root, G, which is our flat, third, and fifth B. Here's our E, here's our G, here's our B. Here's our E minor triad. That's movable too, based off of the G string root. B minor triad, slide it down to our B note at the 4th fret on the G string. Same shape, B minor triad. Why that's important is because there's so strong chord tones in a minor chord, right? Root, flat, third, fifth. So you could use that to noodle around with. Now you know the scale and the triad, and you can start building licks combining them. A resolve to the root note. All just noodling around. The other thing is usually an arpeggio will live right within that scale, right within that position. You don't even have to move. So here's, like, in this scale, I like this minor 7th arpeggio. Sounds like this. Okay, and you can think of it like 2 notes, 1 note, 2 notes, 1 note, 2 notes. E minor 7th, root, flat 3rd, fifth, flat 7, like an E minor 7th chord. The notes just repeat. So now you know the scale, minor triad, minor 7th arpeggio. So now you can take the arpeggio and noodle around with that. And start coming up with licks while you're noodling, you know, maybe throwing some bends. There's that half step into the triad. There's the arpeggio. There's a piece of it. And now all these licks are coming into my head, and I'm just noodling around, but I'm noodling in a way where there's some structure to it. I'm working through a scale, because much like, and all an arpeggio is just the notes of a chord played separately. We're just taking an E minor 7th chord and playing the notes one at a time. And much like I wouldn't just play the scale all the notes up and back, I wouldn't really play the arpeggio up and back, because good arpeggio playing kind of mixes the notes of the arpeggio in with the scale notes, right? So you can play the arpeggio, mix it up with the licks, and our triad. And now you're starting to make some music, right? It's an alternate way to think about noodling that's more productive, right? Let's continue on. So the jam track I played in the beginning, I'll play at the end of the lesson, is just 2 chords, key of E minor and E minor chord to a B minor chord. Nice and slow. For this melodic soloing, it's perfect. Lots of time on both chords. And if you'd like the jam track that I was using in the beginning and end of this lesson, I'll tell you what, I'll send it to you for free along with 5 other jam tracks. It's my jam track coach. It has 6 killer sounding jam tracks, but I pair it with 2 ebooks. And in the first ebook, I go over the jam tracks one at a time and make suggestions as far as soloing strategies and scales to check out over the track, right? And in the second ebook, I diagram out all the scales. So it's a really cool practice tool. 6 jam tracks, 2 ebooks, and I'll send it to you for free. Just click on that link below to get my jam track coach. Let's go up into another position. Let's say you know your natural minor scale off of the low E string root right here. So take that and start messing around with those notes as you're noodling. I like that little repeated riff. I know I'm in E minor. I know I'm using the natural minor scale. Connected to the other one. Connected to the triad. So here's the minor 7 arpeggio that lives right within that scale. Take it up to the root, right? I went down the blues scale that time. So let's say you're just using minor pentatonic and blues. That's fine. You can noodle with that. Here's E, minor pentatonic and blues. Right? So you're just noodling around. Noodling around there with your blues licks. Resolving to your E's. And then maybe you could add in that arpeggio. So there I'm combining the arpeggio with blues scale. The natural minor scale, you could start noodling there. Combine it with your pentatonic licks. I like that F sharp note. Right, so we're noodling in a productive way. You could attach the arpeggio to natural minor, right? You could take your our legato licks. We're just going right up the scale legato. Next position of the scale. And I'm just kind of noodling around, but again, I know I'm in E minor. I know I'm using E natural minor. And I'm just coming up with different little musical phrases that I could remember. Just noodling around. I'm just making this up as I'm going along. All stuff that's going to be musical and not just playing scales up and down, arpeggios up and down. Because just playing arpeggios up and down, that's not melodic. Technique on its own is not melodic, right? We have to take the notes, do interesting things with them, make them sound musical, all right? And then put it over a jam track, right? At the beginning you heard me playing a lot of these kind of style licks over just that E minor to B minor jam track. Slow moving chords, like in this example, are great, wide open, so you could really weave a solo in. That's a great kind of jam track to use for these different little practice exercises. You don't want a real complex jam track with tons and tons of chord changes and complex chords, because that really limits your soloing options. You want it wide open, lots of space, so you could really work the notes, right, as you're getting to know the fretboard and working on that fretboard vision. I hope this lesson helps you along in your practice journey and you're making the most effective use of your time. Have fun with it. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, right? That really helps me to keep bringing the content, as well as then you'll be notified when we have new lessons up. And to get the jam track that I use at the beginning and the end of this lesson, which is perfect for this kind of thing that we're talking about, click on the link below and I'll send you my jam track coach. Has this jam track and 5 more, 6 killer tracks and 2 ebooks, soloing strategies, scale diagrams, packed. Send it to you for free. Just click on the link below. And if you got a second, I just dropped a new record with my original band Mind Cell. We're based out of San Diego. I think it's a slamming record, some of the best music I've ever written. I would love for you to check it out, and I would love to get your feedback and insights on the songs, or if you have any questions about the gear I use, or the production, or the studio production, I would love to hear from you. I'll put links to it below. It's streaming on all the platforms. You get the digital record, you get the CD. Check it out if you have some time, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for the support over the years and all your kind words and your killer comments and posts. Really means the world to me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Stay tuned. I got tons more killer lessons and content coming. I'm really stoked about the stuff I'm going to be bringing you soon. Keep putting that guitar in your hands every day. Keep having fun with it. And remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. Take care and rock on.